Hello, I'm Aura Gómez, co-creator of Redspira, Colombia. My country is one of the most unequal in the world. That is why during isolation, 70% of the population has lost their income to feed their families. Many people in urban areas are hungry and have no food. There is also a high-risk population at the borders. The main city in the Amazonas, Leticia, is 1,092 kilometers south of Bogota and shares borders with Brazil and Peru. This population has the highest contagion rate in the country. The hospital is very small and doesn't have the capacity to attend all the patients. Also, as you know, the majority of inhabitants in the Amazonas are indigenous. The main leader of these communities are the elders. All of them are dying. Indigenous people are the most important people to preserve the Amazonas and fight against climate change in the world. Another city with a border is La Guajira. It is 1,021 kilometers north of Bogota. It shares borders with Venezuela. This population is also mainly indigenous. They aren't yet on red alert for COVID, but their principal problem is the lack of water and food during this crisis. On the other side, along the country, hospitals don't have protection elements. During the last weeks, groups of doctors and nurses quit their jobs because of the bad conditions. Many of them don't even have a face mask. So, that is part of our reality. Indigenous population dying on borders, far from cities. People without work starving in the cities. Health sector workers full of fear, and a government without resources, with corruption in a crisis that goes beyond any imaginary. For these reasons, we as citizens decided to take action. With our first crowdfunding, we have sent 381 kilograms of personal protective elements to the Amazonas, and we have donated more than 2,000 PPE in other cities, and more than 100 families have received food provisions in Bogota. You can follow some of our work in social media and on our landing page, redspiracolombia.com. With this second crowdfunding, the funds collected will be destinated 30% to indigenous families in La Guajira with food and water provisions through FUCAI, an NGO, and 70% will be distributed for PPE for healthcare workers in the country, including the production of face shields by our volunteers and food provision for families in need in different cities. I hope to be clear with my English. I don't do this for me. This is for the people in need. This is to protect life, so it doesn't matter my language issues. These people worth it. Thanks for listening. I hope you can help us to help others.